G'day everybody, Daniel Stoddart here, the Artistic Director of Hunter Drama, and I'm here with the amazing Greg Hall and Maike Strickow, film producers, professional short film makers and in fact feature film makers, and also tutors on our advanced on-screen extension course. And I'm here with these guys today because we're going to talk a little bit about what they're actually getting up to in our advanced on-screen extension course. So thanks for having a chat,
Thanks,
guys.
Daniel.
Thanks for having
Great
us.
to be here.
What are you guys up to in all of your terms this year?
Well, okay, so for this year, we're actually going to be combining. So I'm going to be working with Maike,
Yep.
and the idea is to get our young actors who've been doing some exposure to acting for screen and moving them to the next level. And everyone wants to be in front of the camera. That's the whole thing. But the point, that journey to being in front of the camera is actually quite long. And then the idea is to really get them to understand all the elements that go into bringing that together, so that that one scene that you capture, you may do 4 or 5 or even 95 takes, is actually come about because of a lot of hard work of other people. So what I'll be doing with them is actually the process of prepping for a short film.
Okay.
And the idea is then to combine that and look at various short film opportunities here and overseas and see what's out there. There's a hell of a lot actually for young people. And then Mike is going to be teaching them, taking that next level with acting for screen.
Yeah, we'll be diving into some techniques by Adler, Strasberg, some practical aesthetics,
Yep.
and just figuring out what screen acting is
Yep.
in comparison to theatre. We'll be really focusing on portraying the emotions,
Yep.
just letting it bear and giving a realistic performance on screen.
Yeah, so it's really different to, say, an acting course, isn't it? So different because the things that you use for, the techniques that you have just mentioned are completely different to the strategies that you would use to develop a character for a stage performance as to a screen performance.
Yeah, to some extent. I think there is still a very strong argument. The core of any screen actor's abilities and skill set, so to speak, and I teach acting for screen with Hunter TAFE, and the key is that is a fundamental foundation. So, given circumstances, a lot of the work of Stanislavski is really important because you actually understand why your character is doing something. The one thing that any audience member, both in the theatre or in a big cinema watching somebody who's 20 feet tall, is that they can pick straight away whether it's authentic or not.
Yeah.
They won't know fundamentally why, the sort of the technical or even the theoretical, but at our heart as you know, storytellers and people who love stories, we can pick straight away whether something's authentic. And the problem with the camera, or the challenge for any actor with the camera, is that the camera never lies. It's impartial. It just captures everything. So from one moment in the scene, you're supposed to be there, you're playing this person who's about to say something really devastating, and the camera's trained on you.
Yeah.
They need to know they can see it in your eyes, because the huge size of the final image is 20 times normal, you know, to what you would normally see, and that's very challenging. And I think even a lot of actors find that very, very hard.
Yeah.
The big other challenge then, of course, with acting for screen as opposed to theatre is that often it's shot out of sequence. You may be having to do the death scene, which is the penultimate, you know, the demure of the entire story at the beginning of the first day of shooting. Because your other actor can only be scheduled for that day. They're not available for the other part, so you know you have to be there already. And the other big challenge, of course, for anyone who's interested in pursuing acting beyond this, and even just doing Hunter drama is great for building confidence, and that's the important thing. But at the end, you need to actually come to the set with a fully prepared character. The reality now with budgets as they are, actors don't get the time necessarily, as opposed to theatre, to do the development time.
Yep.
They may get the director for 3 days of a total, and they may be working for the next 6 weeks. Feature film that I worked on, the actors, which can be a very tough shoot, the actors only had a total of 3 days with the director to start developing those characters. So as an actor, you need to have skills that get you ready to be in front of the camera, actually understand, and the ability to break down the script.
Yep.
And do that. And you may do that with your dramaturge or You may do that with your acting coach, but ultimately in the end that work needs to be done by you.
So those things that you just mentioned, can you give us a bit of a breakdown term by term what the script development and the character development that you bring to a film set, how is that broken up over the 4 terms this year? Can you give us just a very brief rundown? Because we don't want to give too much away, because we want people to actually enrol.
Yes, come and enroll. You really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun.
So we're obviously halfway through term 1, but what's happening for the rest of term 1, term 2, term 3, and then what happens in term 4? Just very briefly.
So basically we're going to be looking at the first part is developing the concepts and the idea. So we'll be brainstorming. We've already talked and looked at what short films are. We've started to set some parameters. Most short films, the best ones, are the shortest.
Yep.
And that is generally no more than 3 to 5 minutes.
So what are we up to now with our short film that we're making now? What are we
5
up to?
minutes,
5 minutes,
52.
quick, chop.
So then we'll move that on. Then the big thing is script. Script is key.
Yep.
Develop that. But at the same time, Maike's going to be working with the young actors and starting to develop some material.
Some techniques that we can utilise to actually portray an honest performance on screen, whilst bringing to life these characters that they've created throughout the work they've done in term 1, term 2, and then term 3 we start location scouting and looking for places that we can set
Sounds great.
So the production management, but at the same time, saying to them there's a timeline, and that is the timeline you need to factor in editing, and often most films are actually made in the edit, and that's going to be the biggest thing that I have to consider. So by term 3, they will have location scouted. We'll be already setting up scenes where we want to be working, and we'll have a script, which then we'll start to workshop with the actors and getting to understand what's going on. But at the same time, we're encouraging everyone to take on a different role. So, something
in front and behind.
Working the camera, on sound, actually directing, understanding and breaking down the scene with them. And then after that, term 4 will be, at the same time, we're looking at what film festivals are out there, because they do have conditions, but then focusing on shooting it and then the editing. And hopefully submit it and have it ready to go. Yeah. And certainly put on a show at the. Hopefully we'll have some footage from WowFest.
Yes.
Great.
Behind the scenes.
Well, thanks very much, Maike and Greg. That sounds really, really exciting. If you'd like to enrol and work with these guys on their short film in Advanced On-Screen Extension, you can give us a call here at the Hunter Drama office, or just rock up and we'll sign you. We'd be more than happy to sign you up. So thanks very much, guys.